Alex Smith, who I am growing more so by the day of being a fan of, because I did not know Alex Smith was the way he is, I don't think. I think after learning about his big comeback and the amount of work that went into it, and then listening to him do some conversations and everything like that, never really considered myself a potential Alex Smith fan. I think I'm an Alex Smith fan at this point.
Yeah.
I was always an Aaron Rodgers guy, so whenever Alex gets drafted ahead of Aaron, although Aaron didn't hate him or whatever, I kind of was like, this guy's going to be better. But you're talking about a guy who's had a great career, had one of the most impressive, inspiring comebacks that I think any of us have ever seen. He sat down with Cowherd on The Herd yesterday, I believe, and talked about the Aaron Rodgers situation. Fascinating hearing it from Alex Smith, who has been there, done that with this situation a couple times now. Go ahead and run that.
It's inexcusable. It's absolutely, I think.
What do you mean?
How they ever got to this point. I mean, Aaron's been there 16 years, what he's given to that organization and been there. And for them, I think, to what happened last year during the draft, and I haven't talked to Aaron about this, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, but clearly to watch the interview and him talk about it's about the people. And it is, and Aaron's been there that long, and I don't think it was the fact that they drafted Jordan Love in the first round. I mean, I think it's the fact that you just, how do you have a guy like Aaron and you don't go make sure beforehand you aren't going out of your way to make sure that he knows that he's loved, that they want him there, that we may be taking a quarterback in the first round. We want to make sure you're okay with it. This is maybe what we're doing. We're thinking. I mean, how you haven't treated him the right way leading up to that, and to the fact that, from my understanding, it's kind of like it was a bit of an unknown, a bit blindsided. You know, you go from potentially thinking you may be taking a receiver, you know, you're thinking you're a move away from the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then blindsided with a pick. I just don't understand how an organization, how you haven't addressed that beforehand when you make a move like that and really made sure that everything is tightened up and everybody's feeling good about that. Because if it's not, you're not doing it, in my opinion. You're just not. It's just not the way you run a business. It's not the way you're treating people. 16 years this guy's been there. You were on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. And you don't go out of your way to communicate that and to show that he's, you know, that, hey, you're wanted. This may be something we're doing, sorry. And, you know, but like, you don't make sure that everybody's on the same page and feeling good about that. I think, you know, it's not just football. That's any business or team.
Yeah.
Bad business, says Alex Smith to Colin Cowherd about the way this whole thing has been handled. And he's only talking about one particular situation, which is the drafting of Jordan Love, trading in there, let alone all the other things that potentially happen. And I think he's referring to the Kenny Mayne conversation where he talked about the people in the building. And he said, hey, listen, I love my teammates. I love my coaches. I love the fans. I love Green Bay. But, like, this is not how you do business, is what Aaron is basically saying in that interview. That's how Alex Smith took that. And Alex Smith, with the Patrick Mahomes situation, has been there, literally been there before. He said, this is just, how do you do this? 16 years. Whenever he kept saying that, that is so long. A guy has been the face of a friend. And it wasn't until Alex said it and was like, 16 years, you're not going to tell this guy, like, hey, thanks. He just won the, like, you're not even going to, or say, like, hey, this is what's going down. Andy Dalton got the privilege of finding out they were drafting Justin Fields, and he hadn't even taken a snap yet. He was just told a month ago he was the starter. A little in 16 years. I liked Alex Smith coming out and explaining that a little bit more, because I think people have that high school football, hey, you're a football player, okay? Don't you worry about what the team wants to do. A team does what the team does. It's like, that's not the way the world works, and that's not how you treat your quarterback either, especially in the NFL, one that is the smartest, and he's going to be a Mount Rushmore football player whenever he's done. It's just, I liked hearing that from Alex. I did not expect it, by the way.
Yeah, he has no agenda behind that. He's just giving his opinion. I think it's cool to see him lay it out. And you're right, when he says 16 years, you really start to think about it. But Green Bay going into the draft, I don't know, maybe they were in a weird spot to where they knew it was a possibility. They were going to take a quarterback in the first round. It might not have been their top priority, but then all of a sudden they get there and they realize they want to trade up to take Jordan Love. I understand how it would be tough to maybe make that call to Aaron right there, but don't you think you should have let him know in the weeks leading up to the draft, like, hey, it's possible we take a QB in the first round, man. I want to make sure we're up front.
Yeah, it's just good business. You know, it feels like it's just good business, and I don't think that's the only situation that I've learned about from whether it's you or Kuhn or anybody else that has kind of spoke about this situation who's been there. You know, it just feels like that's not the way you do. And is it because there isn't an owner? That's like, hey, this is the standard. Like, this is how we're going to treat people. This is how this is going to go. And, it's just, it could be. But there could be an owner, by the way, that's just like, fuck them. Don't tell them, too. So I guess it's kind of a gift and a curse, depending upon how you want to look at it. I think we will all wait with bated breath to see what happened. Now, in the middle of that interview, we all started laughing because Diggs came in here. He was sitting down, and he took his chair, and right in front of the microphone, he just started shaking it, basically. Just started doing his thing, and I didn't know we needed that much WD-40, but it was attacking, and I just looked over, and I was like, geez Louise, and